Hi guys, this is Justin Spence with PreSonus Audio, and we're at the 2010 NAMM here in Anaheim, and we're talking about our new 2442 desk, the StudioLive 2442. I'd like to go over some new features here in our FAT channel. As you can see, if you've seen a 1642 before, this guy's a little bit bigger, has a little bit more bells and whistles. There's a lot more real estate on the 2442. So let's start with the gate here. We now have a key filter and a key listen that allows us to get out those unwanted frequencies for our gate. There's now a parameter for range and attack, so we can get a little bit more surgical with how the gate reacts. Over here in our limiter, we now have a threshold, so not just at 0 dB the limiter will start reacting. It actually will go down to -28, so I can get in there and use it as more of an effect than just protecting the circuit. In our EQ, we have a fully parametric EQ now because we have a variable Q on all of the bands, so I can just grab it and go from wide to really narrow Q, making that a little bit more surgical for ringing out monitors or just trying to get out some unwanted frequencies and not trying to affect too much stuff. As the 1604, or excuse me, the 1642 had, we can turn bands individually on and off. Now we have a master bypass on and off, so that's a pretty convenient thing for us to A/B what we're doing with the sound, incoming sound coming in, if we're actually helping or hurting. For the FAT channel, now the auxes, we have 10 auxes here, a little bit more room, so a little bit more aux outputs. This guy has 10 mono or 5 stereo because they're linkable in pairs. Here are your 32-bit effects buses, and these are recallable through your master control here just by hitting effects, scrolling down, and then you can recall whatever you want, like a delay, just by hitting recall. That then lives on that effects bus. There's a couple other things that I want to talk about. There's internal routing on the 2442 that's really important that you didn't really have available to you on the 1642. First thing is, this guy has 4 31-band graphic EQ stereo, so 8 graphic EQs that are assignable to the subs, the main mix, or all of your 10 aux outputs. So that's really useful in ringing monitors. It's really useful to have a lot more control and not affect too many frequencies when you're trying to get some unwanted stuff out. The master section and really the whole entire control surface is laid out exactly the same. The important part over here with your FAT channel is where your internal routing lives. If you'll notice these little graphics up here, if I hit mix here, that shows me my sends to my auxes. If I hit it again, it's now showing my sends to these individual outputs for my talkback mic, effects B and A, aux in B and A, which are stereo, tape in, and my FireWire return. So this kind of, if I jack this up here, that allows me to stream backing tracks or click to my monitors for my drummer or for whoever may need it. So that's a feature that's not available on the 1642 that I think is really awesome on the 2442. One other thing, and then we'll talk about the VSL, is the 24 has a GEQ button here. That's our graphic EQ that you can just select this. And if you look in the FAT channel here, we're now looking at our graphic EQ. So if I'm making any changes here, that's actually being affected across the 31-band graphic. So FAT channel pulls a lot of duties on the StudioLive for graphic EQ, all your input output meters, your gain reduction, the auxes, the fader locate. Anytime you hit any of these buttons in this master section, the meters on the FAT channel then turn into that function. So it's the graphic and all of those other features. So FAT channel is really cool because, you know, it's a digital desk and you've got a lot of stuff happening on it and doesn't take up a lot of space. Over here, this is our 1642. And if you notice, you got a lot of buttons lit up on this bad boy. And over here on our screen, you'll see the virtual StudioLive, or what we call the VSL. Now this guy here is basically just a graphic digital representation of what's happening on our StudioLive 1642. So if I deselect here, you might notice that it's actually happening on the 1642 desk itself. So I'll start deselecting some things, and you should notice that it's going off. Let me do a slide across on the mute so you can see that actually happening on the desk. What I'll do is I'll click and select and slide across, and then you'll see it happening on the desk as well, turning off and on. So now I have control with the Virtual Studio Live, and I have control over the Virtual Studio Live with the control surface of the actual Studio Live itself. So whatever I change here is changed here. We've taken a little bit further than just backing up library, because you've got a lot of presets in your digital desk. You want to be able to store them. You don't want to lose anything. So what we've done is, not only can you control stuff here and control things here, you can store and back up, but there's drag and drop presets. So if I have fat channels here and I've got something going on, let's say kick drum, and I drag it across, you'll see it highlighting the entire channel. And if I let it go, it will actually recall a channel strip. It looks a little something like this. That's the actual graphic of the fat channel. Now if I reach over here and I start moving some stuff, you'll notice that I'm actually moving things on the VSL as well. So I can control it from the control surface, or just like a plug-in, I can click and control it here. So that makes things a lot faster right there. Or I can just recall a preset. Now another cool thing about the fat channel specifically is if I click and drag this guy and it doesn't highlight the entire channel, I just get down in here, I can just drag and drop just the gate parameter, just the compressor parameter, or just the EQ parameter. So just drop it, and it just drops the gate. So this allows me to mix and match and then save my own presets. All I gotta do is hit the plus button over here, name it whatever I want to, and we're good to go. Real quick, we're gonna go over the library and software, and then we'll wrap this up. I have scenes here on the disk, and then down here at the bottom on the device memory. This allows me to pull it off of the desk and save it to the disk of the computer. So I'm no longer losing scenes, and I pretty much have an unlimited amount of scene memory. There's 99 banks in the desk. I can use up to 99, take them off, and then make 99 more. I can also email them to my buddy because it's just an XML file. So that's the overview of StudioLive 2442, the 1642, and the StudioLive VSL. So come out and see us. Take a look at it on our blog. It's the StudioLive blog. It's at PreSonus.com. Thanks.